Welcome!
This is the class trial field. How do you like it? It's a special place that will decide your fates.
You?
What the hell is he thinking? Locking us in this shitty looking place.
Don't fuck with me!
Are you fucking crazy? Don't mess with me, asshole. Complain all you want. I'm used to it by now. Come on, you're wasting your time and energy. Hurry up and take your seats where your names are written. Looks like everyone knows even if we try to resist, it won't change things. Just as Monokuma ordered, we all walked towards the seats that had been assigned. We had been assigned. From this point on, we need to find out who killed Byakuya. The ultimate affluent prodigy, Byakuya Tagomi. He was overly critical, arrogant, and condescending, but he also had a strong sense of responsibility. As we were panicking, he accepted his role as leader and tried his very best to keep us together. A guy like him got murdered. The person who did it is one of us. I can't believe it. There's no way I can believe it. But if it's really true, we need to find out by any means possible. Because that's our only option. There is no way for us to survive unless we sacrifice the killer. And so this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. Okay. Alright, so that's it. Oh, I can change the difficulty. That's kind of weird. Okay. Let's start.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
What did he say? Oh, but if you pick the wrong person, okay.
Such a cruel rule.
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Most definitely. There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you. Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry. I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
You hate me that much?
Now, let's begin.
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
Were you even listening to the rules? Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
Huh. The most pressing issue on our minds?
Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath the table.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the table, the dining hall table. We can start with that, but ultimately we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that, no, thinking about if is a waste of time. We have to do this no matter what. So the class trial has finally begun. From this point on, I will provide simple tutorials at every important moment. I'm sorry, but please excuse my ear-tainting rudeness. As things progress during each class trial... As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, all of your classmates will speak one after another without any breaks. It is up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained within their statements. This means you will have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Out of all the truth bullets you find during your investigation, only the relevant ones will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to move the reticule and fire with the Y button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and choose your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the start button during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun! Alright, first non-stop debate. Knife, bloodstain, gaps in the floorboard.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
Huh? Why? Obviously by hiding the body. They tried to delay its discovery! Like a dog burying a bone!
Okay.
Why was Byakuya in a place like...
His body was at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there. No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
Too bad you're so
Oh, whoop. I gotta stop hitting that button. Here I thought I had a genius idea. Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
I respond better to praise, you know.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean he'd dive under the table.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
The reason Byakuya dove under the table. If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably... this, I guess? No.
Crap!
Damn it. I've always been bad at these ones. There's a few things I could assume. I'm gonna go with this. Nope. I've always been bad at this segment. Huh. This one, maybe? No. I thought maybe because it said he was reaching for something. The only other thing I could think of is the... this? Okay, there's two things I could think it being. One being the gaps in the floorboard.
Crap!
Okay, and the other thing is the equipment list. Really? If it's none of those things, then I don't know what it could be. If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably... This is strange, because I feel like I've tried the only things that make sense. AC timer? No, I didn't think so. This one? No, not that either. Jesus. Huh. Did I try this one already? I feel like I did. Yeah, I did. Huh.
I can prove it with this.
Really? With the knife?
It probably has something to do with the knife we found under the table.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, I am the murder weapon!
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there. So in order
Really?
to get it, he moved under the table.
That seems like a large leap of...
Particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I can.
That seems like a large leap in...
possibility.
Suspicion.
But how did he notice that there was a knife under
Yeah.
the table?
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment. Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial!
During the previous statement, there was only one weak spot. But from this point on, there will be... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's see what the contradictions are. Okay.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct. If that's the case, during the blackout, Mr. Ham-Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food.
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either. I doubt he could have seen the killer.
I'm gonna try this. This seems like the most logical leap of conclusion
I'm
for
sure
me.
Byakuya during the black. That sounds correct. If that's the case, during the blackout, must have seen the killer.
But it was super. It was so dark I couldn't.
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Why do you say that?
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus.
What?
No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
The other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Okay. I was also surprised. Just kidding, I'm sorry. Now then, when this kind of argument surfaces, you will go on a one-on-one debate called a rebuttal showdown. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots, and argue against them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the left stick. Based on the shape of the remarks, it's very important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally. Based on what you do, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it will skew toward their advantage. In the bottom right corner, you can of your screen, a number will show your sharpness of your counter in this displayed. This is the number of times you can cut remarks during the one round of the debate. You will lose counts of sharpness even if you miss, so be very careful. When the mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's arguments change. This means the conversation will develop. If that happens, they will end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it will skew the mood towards the other party's advantage. Plus, it's going to be very big. Just like with the regular debate, please refute any weak spots with the Y button. Of course, you don't have to, if you don't have the correct truth bullet, you will not be able to cut the opponent's remark. What's a truth blade? I'm terribly sorry. It appears there has been a delay in contacting you. I'll make sure the person in charge of contacting you takes a long vacation. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. There won't be any other changes to your handbook menu. Only the name was changed, but don't you think change in feeling is important? Press the start menu. Okay. Well then, good luck and have fun. This is definitely new.
If you just see the killer obviously used those night vision goggles. That's gotta.
I can't back down.
Ah, damn it.
If you just use common sense. The killer obviously used those night vision goggles. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, that's what. So those goggles were planted, and the killer brought them to the crime scene. Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, so those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene. Because if they used night vision, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, that's what. So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Alright, I need to...
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the. I mean, in reality, that's. So those goggles were planned. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Ah, damn it, I missed.
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the. I mean, in reality, so those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Allow me to cut through those words.
That's really disorienting. I'm not used to that at all.
No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Definitely? But why?
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party, we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well. Woohoo! I said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language.
I wouldn't count that as clever.
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case, since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Then, was that knife inside the case too? If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
Ew! You totally mean that in a perverted way.
The knife was brought in a Duralumin case along with the night vision goggles too? No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove that. Duct tape.
I see! There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found. Huh? Duct tape? They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid? Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well. It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
He probably knew. Someone was planning to commit a murder.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
You think so too, right, Hajime?
That's right, Byakuya probably knew there was going to be a possibility of a murder would occur.
I can prove it with this! Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
Hey, the hell is this?
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Wasn't me!
Are you sure?
The only lies I tell are friendly lies!
Those are still lies.
It doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
What do you mean?
By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other. In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone? I see. Strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
Screw that noise! Who the hell wrote that letter?
Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer? Is Is it really one of us? Who is it? Among us, who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
No, the killer definitely used a mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands. Glowing paint.
I see! What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark. In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark.
Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker. Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for two glasses wearers? I'm not the killer. Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
I don't care about a technicality
I'm
like that.
I'm starting to
Peko's
suspect
the one who
Soda.
tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
It's a really good game. You should definitely play it. It's fucking amazing. By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Peko was the one who caused the blackout? Is that really what happened? Hell yeah, man. After this debate, blue-colored weak spots will start appearing. If we call the weak spots you've been seeing up until now argue spots, blue-colored weak spots would be called agree spots. See you later, man. Ugh, man, I'm tired. When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip away your way of You need to flip your way of thinking. Instead of arguing that person's other testimony or arguing the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please fire the truth bullets that provide the other person's testimony is correct. When your truth bullets merge with their weakness, it will become a logical, sound argument. Isn't it a little hot in here? From now on, you must infer whether it is best to argue or agree based on what is being debated. If you press the start button, controls, good luck, have fun. Okay. This is interesting. Someone's account, okay.
Since Peko was in the office, she could have caused the blackout at any time.
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
What happened to your guard duty?
Sorry.
Oh, you weren't in the office? That's clearly a desperate excuse.
I have an idea.
Since Peko was in, she could have caused the.
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree
Really?
with that.
Oh, okay. It did work.
No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
And it's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Peko's alibi.
true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started, and it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Pekka was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Pecco.
I guess that would be true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier!
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.